And the next thing you know, we get to the set to rehearse, and everything was hunky-dory. Everybody likes Joey. Joey likes everybody until it was time for action, and then Joey didn't know what the fuck to do. I wasn't an actor.
Like standing where you need to be and all that kind of shit?
I didn't know anything. Never mind. Dog, I had lines. I had like 8 scenes in this. In this pilot, maybe it's a half-hour pilot. No, it was an hour pilot. I'm exaggerating. Maybe I had 4 scenes, but they were thick scenes where cops would come into my bar and I would talk to them. I remember there was one scene where I'm sweeping outside and an informant comes, talks to me, because I'm like the bartender of this neighborhood in the Bronx, and I'm like the fucking, I was like the town crier, you know, like if you ever see Starsky and Hutch, they had a rat. I wasn't a rat, but I talked to this town, I talked to the neighborhood, and I would speak to the cops. The cops would hang out at my bar. So I go, hey, I know you picked up Mike last week for fucking DUI. You're going to cut him a break for me? You know, shit like that. So I remember there was one scene, I was outside talking to a junkie for a while about his situation at home and how I would talk to a cop. I was one of those guys. Hey, man, can you talk to Mike the cop and see if you can get a deal for me? I was one of those guys. I had that scene. I had a scene with like 4 cops and a DA. And then I had like a closing scene where I'm talking to all the cops at night before they leave, you know. I think the first scene that they had me do, I didn't have any idea. If somebody sees this, correct me if I'm wrong, was the scene at the bar at night. And it was like a laugh scene, like whatever. I had maybe 3 lines in the whole thing. It took us like 8 hours to shoot. Guys, it was not good. And for a minute there, you could see on my face, I thought back on the feeling. Yeah. It was not good. It was not good walking into a place very excited and realizing that you don't have a fucking clue of what you're doing. And everybody there thought I did have a clue of what I was doing. So it kind of made it the fucking worst, you know? So like the first day was kind of rough. You know, people were like looking at me weird. Like, it was like the way we looked at Ray Liotta during the fucking Many Saints of Newark shoot. God rest his soul. I'm not trying to be cute or anything here. It was just surreal that I didn't know what I was doing. And then we went the second day. I had some type of rehearsal. And again, they were like, ooh. I was lost. I didn't really get a grip on it till like the third day. And even then I was lost. I didn't know what to do. There was a bookstore where they sold books on writing and acting and stand-up and, you know, Judy Carter's book. They still had everything. Samuel French had 2 stores at the time, one in Hollywood and one in the Valley. They had sold agent books, anything you needed to know about the entertainment business. I remember running up there and buying like 3 books on acting. Like, you know, and they were already telling me, like, you're going to get a check in like 4 days. So I'm like, holy fuck. If I come down here and they don't give me a check, it's going to be fucking bad. So the more we rehearsed, the next day I noticed that my lines got taken away from me. And the more we rehearsed, I figured out that they were taking me out of scenes. They were just taking me out of whole scenes, guys. You know, when you're excited, it destroys you. Like, I went in thinking I had 4 lines, and now I'm down to 2. I'm like, fuck. You know, with shit like that, guys, it just takes, when you don't know what you do. And it wasn't their fault. It wasn't my fault. We didn't know. He thought I had taken, he never asked. It's not like he said to me, did you go to Juilliard? Yeah. I didn't go to fucking Juilliard. I went to the school of fucking delis. That's where you tell stories and shit like that. I didn't know the fucking Juilliard, so.
At least you got money. You just have to deal with.
Well, no. Then I got a check, and I'm like, ooh. They didn't give me the whole check. They gave me like a half a payment, like $1,250, like $12,000. I was like, wow, holy shit. But the most depressing day was the day we actually started shooting the pilot. And when I got there, they had like a mini table read, and I was down to, I started off the whole shoot with maybe 20 lines, and now I was down to 2. Guys, I was never, ever so embarrassed in all of my life. And I remember that I signed with a manager at that point. And like I was like, you got to really find out what's going on with me. And he called back one day. He's like, they like you, but they just going to see if the show gets picked up. Then about 2 months later, he called me and he goes, no, you're all in. You're fine. It looks like CBS is going to announce the show in May. They're going to keep you as the bartender. They needed Spanish people. It's like anything else. You need like a grant from fucking the Cesar Chavez organization or some shit. I don't know why they kept me. I don't even know if it's true. All I know is I was fucking, thank God I'm not an idiot. And I didn't go out and buy a house on credit or, start smoking cigars and shit. Because CBS had given, I forget what his fucking name is, and it tortures me. For you guys who know The Sopranos, the guy who played the doctor in the prison with Johnny Sack, he played like the orderly. That guy's a big-time guy. He was in a bunch of movies. He's also a big-time director. Not Sidney Lumet, maybe one of those. Sidney Pollack. This was Sidney Pollack's Bronx County. Sidney Pollack, CBS had given Sidney Pollack $1 million. So we're like, fuck, somebody gives me $1 million, it's on, right? In any other world, somebody gives you $1 million, you're fucking working for that $1 million. I was in Miami. It was right after my apartment got towed. I was fucking miserable. I had no clothes. I was getting $350 a week for hosting, and I would have to spend $200 of it on clothes from all, I had to start from sneakers, socks. I would just go to fucking Old Navy every day and buy a pair of jeans for $5. And I'm like, this is just, now thank God they put me in a condo in Miami, and I'm like, this is all going to be till that pilot gets picked up. Because the $25,000 was for the pilot shoot. Now they'd have to decide how much I was going to make every week. And at the end or whatever, I mean, it was moving fast. And I was fucking all in on this motherfucker. And I remember I was in Miami and I was like, fuck, I only got 2 more weeks until I find out. I was opening up for Robert Schimmel in Miami. God bless his soul. I was supposed to open up for Rob Schimmel. He was working Friday and Saturday, but there was some fucking guy it was the first reality show, like How to Date a Millionaire, and he won, and he was a stand-up comic. So he was popular again. They put him on the road, and Schimmel didn't like that they took away his fucking, they took away his Thursday, so he canceled, and it was the first week I had a headline with a gun to my head. Like, I didn't have the time to headline. They were like, Joey, you got 40 minutes? Yeah. They're like, you're fucking headlining this week. I'm like, God damn, at least I was making some money. But I got the call that Friday that the pilot didn't get picked up. And I was fucking cracked. But thank God I didn't spend the check before I fucking had it.